So the experience that I have when I go to the bathroom is like, imagine you like you go to the bathroom and you sit down to take a poo, and then while you're in the middle of taking this poo, Mike Tyson walks in his full boxing getup, and he starts to attempt to beat the shit out of you, and you have to win a boxing match against Mike Tyson without gloves on, while your pants are down in your middle of trying to take a poo. And if you don't win that match against Mike Tyson, you die. Yeah, that's just what it's like when I go to the bathroom. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rank Everything, the show where we rank everything. I'm your host, Ryan, and today we're going to be ranking kitchen appliances based on which one would win in a bar fight. Our tiers for today are, here at the bottom we have doesn't go to bars. These are appliances that they don't go to bars, they don't drink, though they won't be there. And then from there we have leave before the fight starts. So these are like, maybe they go to the bar a little bit earlier in the day, and they leave before things get a little bit too rowdy. Then from there we have gets one punched. So these are appliances that try to be involved in the bar fight, but they just get hit one time and they're out. They just pass. They just get knocked out immediately. Then from there we have puts up a good fight. These are the appliances who are like, this is probably where a lot of them are going to go in terms of ones that actually choose to fight in the bar fight. And, they're probably like, they put up a good fight, like they get some hits in, maybe they knock some others out, but they themselves eventually get knocked out. And then finally at the top, we have King of the Bar. Only one appliance can go in King of the Bar category, because there has to be a winner at the end. But let's get into it. First up, we have the Humble Blender. So blender is electrical. It makes a lot of noise. Like if you've ever used a blender, like, oh my god. They're so loud. It's got sharp blades inside of it. That might give it an advantage when it comes to the fighting. And then the thing is made of glass, obviously, but it's really hard, like really thick glass, where like you could smack the shit out of somebody in the head and that thing would not break, and it would probably knock them out or break their head open or something like that. And of course, it's got the top. But if you take if you take off the top of a blender while it's blending, shit will just fly everywhere. That could be like a good tactic. The blender fills itself up and then it just takes the lid off. And obviously, the blender puts up a good fight. From there, we have what looks like the food processor. So, a food processor is very similar to a blender, but a food processor is more for like when you're going to be making like I want to say like sauces, or it's very good for like mincing meat inside of it. Like a blender is really good. It's exactly what it says. It's perfect because it will blend all the ingredients inside of it together, and it's like really good for making smoothies and other stuff, like things like you would drink. But a food processor specifically, it looks like this is one that has the freaking thing at the top where like you can like it's similar to like if you've ever seen like one of those sort of, it's like a cheese grater where the cheese grater has a thing at the top where you insert the bar and it has a push thing, and then you just sort of the thing, as the thing spins, you push it a little bit further down, kind of like a sausage maker as well. But it's sort of got that where you just slowly put it into the processor while it's going, and it just minces it up or just incorporates it little by little. And so, but a food processor, it's got blades, very sharp blades. I've known plenty of people who have cut themselves on. That's the thing. A food processor can fully come apart because the whole thing outside of the electrical component is machine washable, so you can put it in the dishwasher. It's dishwasher safe. And so I don't think I've ever cut myself on a processing blade, on a food processor's blade, but I've known plenty of people who have. Or plenty of people who almost have. Those things are fucking dangerous. They're easily sharper. I'd go as far to say that the blades of a food processor are easily sharper than those of a blender. And so, but the food processor has one thing. It's not going to be as big as the blender is. And the outside shell is made of plastic rather than really thick, hard glass. And so I think that the food processor also puts up a good fight, but I don't think it does as good as the blender does. Then we have a stand mixer. So this is like something you could use for anything that you might want to, like, mixing. Like it's really good for like making like mashed potatoes. My mom My mom uses a stand mixer for mashed potatoes all the time. And you just dump the shit into this bowl, and you turn it on, and it just mixes, and it doesn't get tired, and other things like that. And so, stand mixers are super heavy, because they have to be, because they have to have this very heavy base right here, because otherwise the action of the arm would cause the whole thing to tip over. So they're very heavy on the bottom. So the stand mixer could use its intense weight to overpower certain things, but like it doesn't have any sharp blades. It's not very loud. Definitely not louder than a blender. Definitely not louder than a food processor. But it's got this one right here. It's got the fan attachment with the holes inside. It's just like a pretty standard attachment. But stand mixers have tons of different kinds of attachments for making all different kinds of things that you might use a stand mixer for. And so, I mean, aside from its crazy weight, and aside from the possible weird-looking attachments it's going to have, I'm going to say that it's also going to go in the puts up a good fight category, just because I think it's too durable to get one hit by something. Next up, we've got what looks like an espresso machine, or just a coffee maker machine. Something a little bit more fancy than just like a coffee pot, though. Let's see. I'm not really coming up with anything for this. I mean, it looks, this one here has got an outer metal body. Of course, that could also just be plastic that's been painted silver, because a lot of them are cheap like that. Let's see. It's going to be able to generate a lot of heat, because it has to make hot coffee as well. It's going to have, but I mean, I honestly think the coffee maker is going to be too delicate for this bar fight. So I'm going to say that it probably gets one punched. The toaster. Do not underestimate the power of the toaster. Think about it. I mean, this one here has got freaking. This one's a double toaster, so it's got two separate sides that can cook independently from each other. But just toasters get. I mean, anyone who's used a toaster knows toasters get fucking stupid hot. Like, they get dangerously hot. Like, you could easily start a fire. You could easily burn your toast if you're not careful. If you just kind of do it haphazardly. And toasters aren't super heavy, but you know. That's the other thing about it. Toasters aren't very heavy, but they're crazy hot. So if the toaster uses its heat to its advantage and like shoots toast out of itself, or just gets really close to something, it's like I mean, hell, the toaster is approaching like oven levels of like, what the fuck. And so, but I think the toaster is going to be too delicate. I think it's going to get one punched. I'm assuming that this is a teapot. It's not any kind of teapot I've ever seen, because I've never seen one with a temperature gauge on the front. But it looks like a teapot to me, so we're going to call it a teapot. And so, what I think the teapots are, let's see, classic teapots were made of like, you know, metal or even like ceramic. This one's probably got an inside metal, like an inside stainless steel sort of casing, with probably maybe a plastic casing on the outside, because plastic, depending on what kind of plastic you get, is very heat resistant, and any tea you're going to be making is not going to get so hot that it's going to be able to melt any sort of plastic. But outside of that, I mean, it's the thing. I mean, gosh, I've never used a tea kettle before, just because I don't drink tea, and you know, we live in 2025. I don't know, but what I can say is that you don't boil the tea necessarily, but tea gets really, really hot. Like, you can essentially think of making tea like you're making a hot soup. And so if you put, like, it's like if you just drank the tea straight out of the kettle after it had been, you know, after it had been boiling for a long time, you get severe, like, burns inside your body. You'd have to go to the hospital, and you would possibly die from it. So if the tea kettle is just going to pour hot water onto people, then that's a very valid strategy. Especially if it's got a nice stainless steel inside with the plastic thing outside, but, like, you know, temperature gauge might get fucked up. Other stuff like that. I think the tea kettle puts up a good fight, actually. I think it does. Next up, we've got a juicer. This one looks like it's a little bit more fancy, because it's actually got, like, a spout on it that goes directly into the cup. But So like a juicer, we're just gonna go with this metal one here in this picture. It's probably not mechanical. My guess is that it's probably got a pretty heavy flat bottom for the sake of keeping it stable whenever you're juicing. Because I mean, I don't know. Some people get really intense when they be juicing that thing, and you know it might get everywhere. That's all I'm saying. And so I know that these are oranges in this picture, but they just look like lemons, kind of, because it's so small on my screen. And so a juicer, I mean, unless this is probably just stainless steel, and stainless steel is not that heavy. It's probably got mostly plastic. It's probably got almost completely plastic insides. It's just not going to be very durable. So I'm going to say the juicer gets one punched. A hand mixer. So this is a stand mixer, and this is a hand mixer. It might sound confusing when I say it like that, but I promise it's not. But basically, a hand mixer is you literally hold it in your hand, and it's got these whisks on the end, and you just press the button, and it mixes. And it does all the work that a stand mixer would do. But it's just not, like usually you wouldn't use it for batches that are that big, or you wouldn't use it for things. It functions the exact same way as a stand mixer. It's the little brother of the stand mixer, and it will not be able to put up as good of a fight for that reason, more than likely. I mean, I guess maybe you could say that it's got like mobility on its side because it's not so heavy, you know, but it's not going to be as big. It's not going to have as much strength, you know. I'm going to say that this one's our first leaves before the fight starts. Like, I feel like he's there with his brother, and his brother's like, I think things are going to get bad. You need to get out of here. And next up we have, so a lot of you may have never seen this before, but this is an emulsifier. So emulsifiers they're kind of similar to blenders and maybe a little bit like food processors, but essentially this part down here, when you turn it on, it spins super fast. And typically, or it's called an emulsifier because you use it to create or combine things into what are known as emulsifications. And so the most common form of emulsifier that you would see in like a food thing would be like mayonnaise. And that's generally what emulsifiers are used for, is to make mayonnaise. So you put the eggs and the oil and the salt or whatever the fuck into the thing, and you stick in the emulsifier and you turn it on, and it mixes them super fast, and you make mayonnaise. So if you have an emulsifier, you can make your own mayonnaise super easy. Just a little tip for you there. The emulsifier, the fact that it spins so fast probably makes it really dangerous. And like, it's handheld, it's not very heavy, so it's probably got like the mobility speed advantage on its side. I mean, yeah, it's got like the mobility and speed advantage on its side. My only question would be like its durability. Because like, if this thing falls into like the blender, I feel like it might get messed up, maybe. Or even, I mean, just like, or like if the stand mixer fell on top of it, it crushes it. I feel like it definitely beats the shit out of all the ones and gets one punch. So I'm going to put emulsifier in good fight. A waffle iron, which is not the same as a George Foreman grill, which we have right here. Waffle iron. Waffle irons are usually made from cast iron, which is super dense, super heavy metal that holds on to heat extremely well. And we are not messing around when it comes to the waffle iron. This fucker's heavy. He's durable. He might as well be an oven, based on the fact that once he gets hot, it's going to take a long time for him to not be hot anymore, and every last part of him is going to be hot. That's the thing you have to remember about cast iron, is that it's all one big hunk of metal piece, and versus like other kinds of like, you know, like frying pans, like if you had a cast iron frying pan and a regular frying pan that had like a rubber stainless steel handle versus a cast iron handle, the entire cast iron pan is hot. It goes all the way to the handle. That's why they make those special hot pads that just go over the handle of the cast iron pan, which they don't work very well, by the way. You really have to like, cast iron pans, that's something I already mentioned. Cast iron in general is just really heavy. Like, oh my god, this shit is heavy. And so, but back to, I mean, This waffle iron beats the shit out of anything it comes across. It's just too durable. It's too heavy. You know, if it gets like if it, I mean, it's the kind of thing where like if the waffle iron were to fight the oven, it would probably win because the oven's not going to be able to get hot enough to damage the waffle iron. So that's kind of crazy if you ask me. Next up, we have a crock pot. So crock pots are perfect for like stewing. They're perfect for making like, you know, just like it's a slow cooker. You cook it very slowly at a semi-low heat for hours at a time. It's very similar to like cooking food in a smoker, but you know, it's not barbecue and other stuff like that. And so I think the crock pot, the thing is, it depends on what kind of crock pot that you have, but most crock pots, they have this outside metal part, which is where the heating element stuff is, and on the inside they have a very thick ceramic glass thing that the food sits inside of, and it just absorbs the heat from the heating element, and it cooks the food slowly inside of it, and that kind of thing. And so this outside part may not be very durable, but that inside ceramic part is going to be crazy durable. Like, the only thing that might be able to damage it would have to just be something super heavy like the stand mixer or the waffle iron. So I think the crock pot also puts up a good fight. Here we have a griddle. So it's just, I mean, it's essentially just your frying pan. It's just a big flat piece of metal that, depending on which one you have, whether you put it on your stovetop or you plug it in and it gets hot through electricity, it's I mean, it's like if it's, I think my dad has like a couple ones that are, you know, pretty thick metal. I think one that's just straight up cast iron. You can get like they make those it's called like Blackstone flat top grills. That's essentially what it is. And so, and it's doing exactly what it's made for. Like, it's just, you cook multiple things at a time on it. It's a lot of space. It's real nice. I'd love to have one. I don't have one though. I think this one's going to put up a good fight too. I think it's like nice and durable. It's pretty big. It's going to be heavy. It absorbs heat really well because that's the whole point of it. And there we go. Okay. To be honest, I don't really know what this thing is. I think this is either a bread machine or this is a rice maker, because I think this is like a rice spoon attached to it. This dude doesn't go to bars. This dude doesn't go to bars. He's way too he's way too fucking ugly looking to be invited to bars. He's not getting involved in bar fights. He's at home with his family or something. This must be an air fryer. That's the only thing I can assume, because if it was a deep fryer, it probably wouldn't be down there. This must be an air fryer. Looks like it's cooking, you know, French fries and chicken wings. Air fryer probably gets one punched. I mean, because it's not really going to have a lot of metal components outside of anything it uses for heating. It's going to have an outside plastic shell. These fucking containers are probably made of plastic as well. But it's going to think that it's hot shit just because it's for frying things at high temperatures. But it just gets fucking murked by the waffle iron. Ice cream machine. Now, this is an interesting one. And this one looks like it's actually a hand crank ice cream machine. So, poor bastard using this one. The ice cream machines, just like similar to like the crock pot, this is probably or other things like that. This is probably, the outside part is either going to be probably like a relatively thin metal or plastic, but the inside is going to be probably relatively durable stainless steel with, you know, plastic mixing blades, maybe even possibly metal mixing bars, things like that. You just need something that is not going to break or get too brittle because of the intense cold of the ice cream. And it needs to be able to go for a long time, because you got to mix ice cream for a while, like 30 minutes at least, I'm going to say. Maybe not that long, but it just depends. I think the ice cream machine could put up a good fight, because ice cream machines are pretty heavy, just like the stand mixer, just like fucking, what else? Just like probably the juicer, maybe. It's probably going to have a relatively heavy bottom, because the action of stirring could make the thing get unstable, so it needs a heavy bottom so it doesn't topple over. All right, here we go. The very legendary George Foreman grill. Similar to the waffle iron, but a little bit more advanced, because it's not only for making like one thing. It's for, the George Foreman grill is insanely successful. I can't even fathom how much money George Foreman is made off of the George Foreman grill, and it's so simple. It's just a thing that gets hot, and you clamp it down, and it's like perfect for making, toasted sandwiches and paninis and shit. But it's just like this top part here is it's probably either cast iron or some sort of similar metal to cast iron that's just durable, can get super hot without much difficulty. These things are super portable. They have the big handle at the top. These things are freaking, college dorm room legends. And I'm going to say the George Foreman definitely puts up a good fight here. This looks like... Is this... I think this is... like a fucking... It's not an oven, obviously, because this is the oven. This is like a... It's not an easy bake oven. It's got a different name that I can't think of right now. But it's like an oven, but it's smaller. Like it can sit up on your countertop and it cooks a whole bunch of things at the same time. It's like a fucking. It's not an oven, but it also is. And it's got a name similar to it, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's not an easy bake oven, but that's what I'm gonna fucking call it, I guess. So the easy bake oven here is gonna be. It's just like how the stand mixer was to the hand mixer. This is the oven's little brother. And so we're going to assume that the oven cares about its little brother, and he's going to be like, oh, you need to leave. Things are going to get bad. I can feel it. So, yes, he leaves before the fight starts. This thing right here, this is another thing that you may have not seen before. My mom has one of these. It is... This thing is, basically, it's a mixer. So you would put it, so like it's, if you like creamer or sugar in your coffee in the morning, you add it to your cup of coffee and you use this to mix it. And so it basically, this part up here, it just spins super fast and you just put in your coffee and it mixes it for you. It's very simple, very easy. These things are, this one looks like it's made of metal or very shiny plastic. The one that my mom has is made of plastic. This thing would die immediately. So definitely gets one punched. A fondue pot, whether it's cheese fondue or chocolate fondue. These things are, do not underestimate these things. These things are fucking stupid busted because they have to, not only do they get hot, they have to stay hot, usually for a long time, because they have to keep the cheese melted. That's the thing. And so they usually come with these, these like little sticks. Maybe the sticks can be used in the fight and that kind of thing. But like it's gonna have like hard, durable inside, whether it's like a ceramic or like metal of some sort. The metal shell on the outside. I mean, these things are literally made for holding either hot melted chocolate or hot melted cheese. Either one is gonna cause any regular person to have crazy ass burns if it were to get on them, and so definitely puts up a good fight as well. Next up we have. Really, it's like, I don't know, if I was going to say like the really heavy hitters in this fight are going to be the oven, the fridge, and the waffle iron. This is really a fight between the three of them. Everybody else is kind of just here. The oven, and I guess you can include it as, so the term it would be, you would call it a range. I used to work at a furniture store, so I know that kind of thing. But you call it a range, and it's called a range because it has a range of functions. So it functions as an oven, a broiler, and a stovetop. So a range can do three major things generally. And so oven, broiler, and stovetop. I mean, it's just super versatile. It gets really hot in the oven, perfect for baking. It's obviously what it's made for, but it's got the broiler on top. The thing gets, to 500 plus degrees, easily can burn stuff, melt other things. You've got the stove top on top, whether it's gas or electric. Electric, I honestly want to say that electric gets hotter than gas does, but gas is also an open flame, and so you really can't go wrong with either one. I mean, it's just, who the fuck, outside of the fact that usually like the front is gonna be this sort of, but it's like a strong, very heat resistant tempered glass that's not gonna be able to melt easy, even if you like turn on the broiler. And then you may not know this, but ovens are stupid heavy, and they're so bottom heavy as well, especially if you get like really big fancy ones that have a lot of burners on the stove and other stuff like that. It's just, them shits is super durable, super heavy, gets crazy hot in multiple different ways, puts up a good fight. Like, this is like, it's gonna be hard to take down the oven. The microwave. So microwaves, not that heavy. Usually this front part, I mean, you've got like the number pad, but it's not going to be super durable, because like you can buy a really cheap microwave for like, I'm going to say like $100 or less. Like, they make some very inexpensive, cheap microwaves. You know, usually like the handle is usually like a plastic that's like got a very light, maybe metal coating on it, but it's going to be mostly plastic. They make a lot of noise. People are worried about them emitting radiation and causing cancer, even though that's really nothing to fucking worry about. Microwave, I honestly don't think the microwave puts up a good fight. I think the microwave is going to just get punched. I think like the oven is going to fall on top of the fucking microwave and crush it instantly. Okay. Here we've got our final one and our last big heavy hitter, the refrigerator. And the one pictured here is a French door refrigerator. You can tell because it's got the two doors up here and the freezer drawer underneath. That's what makes a French door a French door, is this right here. French doors specifically are the heaviest of fridges, unless we get into like the territory of ones that are literally built into the wall of the house. Those are like super duper special custom fridges that can't be moved. But just a regular French door fridge that, you know, like some fucking poor furniture guy is going to have to wheel into your fucking house. Yes, those things are crazy heavy. They usually require 2 people to move because they're so, like, holy shit. But like outside of their extreme weight, there's not much that the fridge has to offer. Fridges can be loud. They emit light. They get obviously really cold because that's the whole purpose of a fridge. It's one of those things where the fridge is going to put up a good fight because of weight and durability alone. Especially if it's a French door, because it can just fall on something and immediately destroy it. And then, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. Majority of refrigerators use a refrigerant called cyclopentane. It's a refrigerant that just, it's like similar to like refrigerant that's like in your car's air conditioning system, that kind of thing. Cyclopentane is extremely flammable, where if there's a leak of cyclopentane in your fridge and then it finds its way to a spark or a heat source, it will catch your whole kitchen on fire and possibly blow up your house. I've seen this. When I worked at that furniture company, we had a customer whose house burned down because of a fire that started at their refrigerator. And so if the fridge fights something and its cyclopentane starts leaking, it's going to blow up that whole bar, and there ain't going to be any winners. So, like, I don't know if the fridge is going to be king of the bar, but the fridge is literally a walking bomb, essentially. And so, just like, you know, don't get too close to the fridge. Like, only fight it from the front, kind of thing. But, let's see, we're going to have to make a decision on who's going to be king of the bar. I think it's between the oven, the fridge, and the waffle iron. The waffle iron is really heavy. And if it could really like get some speed going, it could absolutely fuck some shit up. But the oven has like 3 different flavors of hot on top of being really heavy and really durable. And the fridge, as I just explained, super heavy. It's basically a bomb. But that's it. You all can tell me what you think, but I'm gonna give it to the oven. I think the oven's intense durability, along with its ability to just get hotter and hotter, is going to put it over the edge against everything else. But here you have it. This is our official ranking for which kitchen appliances would win a bar, or how kitchen appliances would do in a bar fight. If y'all enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel to see more content like this in the future. It means everything to me whenever you all subscribe to the channel and watch the videos all the way through. It's very helpful for the growth of the channel. Leave a like on this video so that YouTube will recommend my videos more to you as well as others in the future. This channel has a Patreon that you can subscribe to. It is $1 a month, and every single Sunday, you'll get an extra video on the Patreon. Whether it's another ranking video, whether it's some sort of research type video, whether it's some new shit that I came up with, something like that. But it's $1 a month. It is literally as inexpensive as Patreon will let me make it. The description for that, or the link to that, will be in the description of this video. And then finally, leave a comment down below letting me know what ranking you want to see in the future. It can be anything. This channel is called Rank Everything. Once again, thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good one.